What's up, guys? VA John here with another video update. Uh, well, let's get the obvious out of the way. The radiants are, as you can tell, over the tank, and I gotta say, guys, this LEDs are amazing. They're so bright. I think I had to acclimate my eyes to it because at first I couldn't even look into the tank. I'm sure guys with metal halides are used to the brightness, but I wasn't. But now, I really enjoy the lights. I'm very pleased with the lights. Really, cool how, all the communication the lights have with my MP40. As soon as they're off, the MP40's off. I'm not using that feature for now, but I'll explain later on this video why. The rail kit is pretty cool. Everything, the installation. My brother helped me with the installation, and it was funny his reaction when we first turned these lights on. He was just amazed. He was telling me this is the coolest thing I ever seen. I mean, the shimmer effect. You guys can't get fully how nice the tank looks with these lights because the camera just as you can tell, the sand looks super bright and all that. But I mean, basically, I felt like I went from a black and white TV to a HD TV. That's how I felt after I put these lights over the tank. I mean, the colors and everything is amazing. On the video, it looks pretty blue, but if you were here, you will be blown away by the colors I managed to get out of this fixture. I'm running custom settings on it. It's something close to 20K, but if I was running 20K halides, but with a little UV splash into them. I mean, I'm pleased with the color. They're not as blue as 20s, but I don't even know how to explain the color. But if you want to know where I got the settings, mine are tweaked a little bit, but the closest thing to my setting are the Vivid Aquarium LEDs. If you watch their video of their tank, they're doing a test, half LED, half halides, and that's where I got the idea for where to set mine. They have a whole article on what they were setting and what their settings are and all that stuff. They don't use those settings anymore. They updated them. I don't know if they updated them on their blog, but I'm using something close to the originals that they had. But I'm using I kind of tweaked them to what I wanted. I wanted to get a little less of that UV and a little more white, and I kind of tweaked them for that. And I'm pleased with what they look like. And I can't wait to see the corals under these lights. I mean, they are pretty awesome. They're very powerful lights. I was actually, after 3 days, I was noticing some green hair algae growth on the rocks. So I tuned back my lighting schedule. Right now I'm just getting about 2 hours of lighting in. And as you can see, all the hair algae is pretty much gone. Once I get probably a cleanup crew, I'm going to try to get a couple of turbo snails and a couple of hermit crabs and a cleaner shrimp in here. Then I'll probably start turning the time, making the time a little longer, because I know those guys will start taking care of the algae that's growing. But since my nitrates, which piss me off, I mean, they're just stuck at 25. They're just stuck there. They don't go up or down. They're just at 25. And I know it's my rock. This was all dead rock, and I'm sure there's still stuff in between that's still decaying and releasing nitrates. Actually, I can see it. There's still some, algae left from, when you die it off, and it's still, I think the rocks are still going through the decaying process of stuff inside, and then the bacteria growing on top and all that. So it's going to take a while for my system, the nitrates at least. I mean, ammonia and nitrites, those are zero. I mean, there's no trace, but nitrates are still at 25 and just hanging there. As you can see, I also, after 4 weeks, I added my 2 clowns, Bonnie and Clyde, and they're enjoying the tank. Try not to shake too much here. They're enjoying the tank, and They the female, she wasn't doing too well at the beginning, and it's because I think my pH just dropped to 7.7, and I think that's what she wasn't taking too well. I mean, it was the first day I put them in. For some reason, my pH dropped, and I did a 5-gallon water change, and it brought it back up to 8. It usually hangs at 8 or 8.0, because her nose kind of turned light orange, like she was losing her color on her nose, and I think it's probably stress too, just from the move. She didn't take it as well as the male. He loved it as soon as he was in here. And what I did, which I think helped a lot, was I put him in first and then introduced her to the tank, which actually I think it helped with their relationship, because now they seem to hang out together way more, and they don't fight as much as they did on my quarantine tank. I mean, on the quarantine, I put her in first, and she just took over the PVC pipe, and she would kick his butt up and down that tank if he got near it. Here, he can do whatever he wants, and she doesn't bother him. Sometimes she does, get on him, but most of the time, as you can see, he goes and hangs out with her, and he's like, hey, what's up, And sometimes my firefish, they go annoy him when they're bored. They're like, hey, let's go mess with this guy. They're funny. I mean, they're probably hungry right now because I haven't fed them. I'm going to feed them after this video. But they're funny. They do stupid stuff. I mean, they're loving the aquascape. They're swimming through all the little caves that I left. They love this left side of the tank. Sometimes they're at the right. Sometimes they're in the middle behind the rock. They go all over the place. But they usually like to hang out mostly on this side. Look at their reflection, I guess. And they do stupid stuff. I seen them pick up some of the sand and blow it into the MP40, and he just blows across the freaking tank, and my firefish is just looking at him like, what the heck are they doing, but they're enjoying it. I think they look pretty happy, and her color is back. She's looking great now. Both of them are looking great. They're eating, everything is fine so far, so I'm hoping that keeps going, and I'm gonna give them another week. If everything is good, I'm gonna tear down my QT for now, and because I'm keeping it running just in case something goes down, and I'm gonna have to take care of it. Now, one negative thing about the lights is that the software is not the most user-friendly software out there. So, man, this thing doesn't even want to focus. So it's going to be hard for some of you guys. When you get the lights, you're probably going to be wondering, why isn't this thing responding to how I want it to? They kind of make it look like it's a drag and drop, but it's not. It's not drag and drop. You kind of have to click and then set at that time. It's a little weird. I don't know. I'm good with computers, so I figured out how to fool the whole system, because as you guys probably know from my previous videos, I wanted to make nighttime, daytime, and and the daytime, nighttime on the settings. So the system doesn't really support that. They're like, it kind of confuses the system. They're like, wait, what? And the system is just confused. So what I did was I set up custom time, and I just made the time the opposite. It's kind of complicated, but I pretty much made the system think that right now is daytime, and it's not. It's actually nighttime. So I just tweaked the time around to fool the system. So the software, they really need to work on that. I know eventually they're going to supposedly update a lot of stuff, make it Mac available for the Mac and the iPod and all that stuff. They really need to make it more user friendly. For the people that are not computer savvy out there. But other than that, the lights are awesome. Oh, I also, before I forget, the lights, one of my lights had a problem matching the spectrum of the other light. So I called Ecotech, and they sent me a replacement. And, that's the one on the left there. It's the replacement, and everything matches up now. And it was no hassle. I called the guy. I didn't even have to be on hold. It took a couple of minutes. He took my info. They do take your credit card information, because if you drop the light in the tank, they will charge you. But they sent me the box. I didn't have to pay for shipping, and you know, I didn't have to pay for anything. They just sent me the fixture. I changed it, put the old one in the box, and you know, put the label on it, the label they sent me, and took it to the FedEx, and they took it away, and that was it. So everything is good so far. You know, I just have bad luck with equipment for some reason. Another thing was micro bubbles were driving me crazy in this system. It's just I didn't notice it because the lights were off. It looked like I didn't have any, but once the lights came on, you know, once I finally installed the lights, I noticed I had micro bubbles. My return line I fixed it. It had a leak right there where the white spot is, and I used PVC glue, and I took, you know, the pipe out and fixed that, and it helped a lot. But I'm still getting some micro bubbles in it. I don't know if I can get them on video. I don't know if I can get them on video. You can kind of see them blowing away a little bit. I don't think I can get them. I mean, it's barely any in there. I don't know if the micro bubbles are going to bother anything really, because I mean, I read some stuff that they can kill your fish and all that, and I'm like, really? I mean, I think the ocean has more micro bubbles than my tank, but hey, I'm not an expert, so maybe they're right. I'm trying to correct it as much as possible. I used to have big kind of bubbles floating around, and not anymore. Now I do still have those little tiny ones that I can only see them when I get really close to the tank, but maybe that's just oxygen in there. I don't know. It's just little tiny bubbles. It is micro bubbles. I can see them coming out of my skimmer and my overflow, and I kind of slowed my overflow a little bit because it was just going fast, you know, straight down fast. Let me open the bottom here. Let me see. Yeah, my that's the return line. Well, not return line, the sump line, and it goes all the way down, you know, to almost to the bottom. It just goes straight down to reduce noise. You can barely hear the system actually. And as you can see, I'm running the filter suck now. I wasn't running it before, but I run it just to, you know, see if it helps with micro bubbles, and it did help. It was very turbulent in here, and it helped a lot. I ordered 5 more of those. I wasn't going to run them in the, you know, at first, but now I think, you know, it's a pain to change them, but you know, it might help my water out, you know, catch a lot of debris or extra food. So I'm like, whatever, it can't hurt. But there is some micro bubbles coming out of the return of the skimmer here, and some of the return on the tank. Not the return, but the sump dump, or whatever the hell you want to call it, the sump return there. You can't see it on camera, but I can see if I put a flashlight in there, I can see a bunch of micro bubbles, and they make it right through here. And as you can tell, I got some microalgae. I just got that in, and hopefully it'll start growing and help me with those nitrates. And I got my micro glow light here. It runs 24/7. Hopefully it'll help. The skimmer is skimming now. I guess it's starting to skim. I'm still fine-tuning it and finding the right place, but it's skimming more. You can see a little bit of brown stuff, like tea, like iced tea color stuff there. I don't know if I'm running this section a little too high or what. I mean, I try actually lowering the section. I try lowering the section down to here, and then down here, and it made more bubbles, and I'm running it right on top of the black pad there, and that actually seemed to help more running it higher up, I guess because there's less splash. I can see it with a flashlight that I mean, the micro bubbles make it down and into this section. You need a flashlight, it's the only way you can see it, but it's definitely my skimmer. The only things that are making it around is my skimmer and my sump, not my sump, Jesus, my overflow return. The overflow return is, I think, is the biggest one, and I'm probably gonna drill holes on that return to kind of slow down the speed of the water coming down even more than I already did. I kind of turned the key there, and the dial. I can kind of, slow it down a little bit, but I don't want to do it too much because that slows down the flow in the whole tank. So I don't want to slow the flow down too much. But I'm hoping this microalgae helps out with the nitrates. I'm hoping it starts to grow and get bigger. It's been here for 4 days, and to me, maybe I'm going crazy, but it does look a little bit like it's growing a little bit, but time will tell with that one. Temperature didn't go up at all. Let me see, 79 right now. It's always been at 79. I'm going to try to tweak it after, my fish get more used to the system. I'm going to try to tweak it and see where the clowns go. Oh, they're there. I'm going to try to tweak it and see if I can get them. To. I lost my train of thought here. Anyways, I'm going to do some tweaks. I'm still tweaking the system. I still have a long way to go. I know there's guys that probably have. I mean, by now they probably have this whole display full of corals or something. But I want to take my time, and I don't want to rush and screw everything up. So I'm taking my time, letting the system mature, and hopefully that will help me out. That will make it easier for me in the end by just being patient, which is really hard because I want to just put all the fish I want in here. I want the corals in it, but I keep telling myself, don't rush, don't. Some of you guys have some awesome tanks, and it just gets me hyped. I'm like, man, I want my tank to look like that. But I think it's on its way. I got more equipment coming, which I will show you guys once I get it here. I'm gonna keep it, I'm not gonna tell you what it is, so you guys can see what it is in the next video. But so far, everything's good. I'm gonna feed him less frozen food. I'm gonna probably only do it twice a week now instead of I was doing it every day. I'm gonna dial that back. My clowns, I'm kind of getting them used to frozen food. Since they're tank raised, I don't think they're used to it. They love the pellets and flakes and all that stuff, but frozen food, they kind of look at it like, what the heck is this? But I'm gonna get them used to it. Firefish loves frozen stuff, but he eats anything, So I'm gonna just do twice a week, probably Monday and Friday. I'm gonna do frozen, and the rest of the days are gonna be dry foods, pellets and flakes and stuff like that. And I'm probably gonna, instead of twice a day, I'm probably gonna do once a day. See if that helps, But micro bubbles, that's another thing that I've tried so many different ways to slow it down, and some things made it worse. Like I tried running in the little filter section there. I tried running filter floss, and it actually made it worse. It made bigger bubbles. I was like, oh crap! So I took that off, and I think I'm finding the best setting. I mean, there's barely any bubbles in there. And I think it's normal to see some bubbles in there. I mean, I think it's just oxygen, really. But I'm not a pro, as you guys know. I'm not a pro. I'm still learning myself. I learned a lot from looking at the tanks you guys own. And going. I need to go to my local fish store and look at their tanks, and compare,